What is up, YouTube family? Lou here with another Godlike Collectibles video. I am super tired. I just got home from work a little while ago, and I worked the overnight shift, so I'm a little beat. I'm tired. My wife just went to the post office for me to drop some stuff off. She's expecting me to go to sleep, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video because I haven't made one in a minute. But I was thinking about, I don't want to do too much on this video. So I want to share what I've been doing the last couple of, like, I don't know, maybe last week or so. So I decided to dive into these Mag Pros, the Zion Cases Mag Pro slabs. And I ended up getting a label. My wife created a little label for me, and we ordered them, and I got them. And I'm super impressed with these slabs. You know, I never thought I was gonna buy them and get into them. I always thought to myself, nah, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? I know everybody was doing it, and it seemed like it was a trend. But I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, buying some cards raw and putting them up in those slabs, they look nice. You know, buying the ungraded cards at a cheaper price, it's really nice because it makes your money stretch. So I get it. For those who just love to buy ungraded cards, I understand. You know what I mean? Buying graded cards can be costly. Oh man, so. But, you know, I want to give a shout out to Lou Rock TV and to Hitman 23 because, you know, when I was getting ready to buy them, I was kind of hitting them up with a lot of questions and, you know, asking them their opinion on my label and you know, and just sharing the slabs with them when I did get them. And putting me on to the Superior Fit sleeves for these Mag Pros, but they're very clear, and they are a little smaller than the PSA slabs and the CGC slabs. They're slightly smaller, but they're crystal clear like a CGC slab, which I love. And in a way, it kind of worked out because it allowed me to start putting some of my ungraded cards that I wanted a slab. I got to put them in the Mag Pros, and they look really good. So let me show you this first one, because this card I ended up getting from Lou Rock in a trade, in the first trade night in 4 Collectors back in the day. And it's funny, at the National, Lou Rock gave me, he didn't have like business card or nothing like that, so he gave me one of his little labels that he uses for his slabs. So I had this idea that when I got the Mag Pro, that I was gonna put the Anthony Volpe rookie card that he traded me, or should I say pre-rookie card, because it's his first Bowman. But I ended up slabbing it and putting it with Lou Rock's label. So I got my Anthony Volpe in there, you know. Very nice, very clear, crystal clear, man. They just look really great. So it's kind of nice to have it in these cases and not worry about grade. And also, you know, one of the things that I've been noticing is that a lot of times we spend extra money because we're getting it in a PSA slab or a CGC, and we're trying to keep our costs down. So we buy a lower grade, and by buying the lower grade, because it is graded, it still costs more than you buying a better looking card ungraded, you know. And so I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, like, you know, I saw, for instance, I decided to start buying some Vladimir Guerrero Jr. cards You know, he's had a great second half of the season. And, you know, I think he's going to really start playing a lot better moving forward in his career. He's only 25 years old. So I'm still sold on him. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people probably gave up on Vlad. But I don't know, man. I think the guy's he's going to keep doing his thing. He's still young. He's got a lot of career left. You know, God willing, he stays healthy. So I ended up buying one of his rookie cards. And I was looking at it in a PSA 9. And they wanted, I think they were asking like, I don't know. I think it was like either 35. It was like $30 to $40 for a PSA 9 for this rookie card. It's a Topps I think this is the Archives. It's either the Archives or there's the... Yeah, I think it's the Archives. So I bought Vladdy's Archive from 2019, and it looks like a 58 Topps, and I love the 58 Topps. So I ended up getting this Vladdy, right? And I bought this Vladdy for $2, and it's mint. You know what I mean? Like, looking the card over, if I was to send it in to get graded, I believe this would get a 9, maybe even a 10. But these are my labels. God Like Collectibles. You know what I mean? I decided to go with the white background and the red bold letters with the black Collectibles a little bit smaller. You know, and I went with a blank back because I didn't see the point in putting like my QR code or my website, because they're for me. You know what I mean? So it's not like I don't need to scan my own card. You know what I mean? So I decided to leave it blank. But the Vladimir looks dope on here. But I started thinking about it, right? If I would have bought the PSA 9, it would have cost me about 30, I don't know, maybe with the shipping, like $35. So I paid $2 with shipping off of eBay for the card. The slab, I think, came out to like $350 because I bought a little bulk order of them. And, you know, $350, $2, so $5.50 with the label. So let's just say I'm in it for $6, just to say, you know. So $6 versus a PSA for $30. Now, how much more can I buy? You know what I mean? How many more cards can I get now? Because I've saved $25 maybe, or $30. But it looks real sharp, man. I love it with the label, you know. So, and just to give a comparison, I got the CGC, right? Here's a Griffey in the 9. But for you can see the clarity and the size, they're pretty much almost the same. You know what I mean? It's slightly bigger, not by much. You know what I mean? And if you look at it here on the side, so, but they're about the same thickness, which is great. And here's a PSA. So, for you can see a comparison. So these are great because I have, like, for example, this Hypnotized set. I have a couple of the other ones that are not graded. So I'll put them in these, and that way I can display the set together, and they look like they're all graded, you know? So these are all 10s, by the way, just letting you know. I know the number's not on there, but they're all 10s, all right? And let's see what else I put in there. So these two cards, whew, Lord have mercy. I was dying to put these in slabs, and I finally did. So I got the Don Mattingly, the Starburst. This is the Pinnacle 96 Starburst Mattingly. And I got the Griffey Starburst. Ooh, Lord. These look fire, bro. These look unbelievable. I love it. So had to do it. But I'm loving it. It's fun to put the cards in there and sleeve them up. And I've just been having a blast doing it. You know, I have this Pedro for all you Boston fans. It's like cracked ice. Man, these look so sharp, man. It looks so sharp. So now I don't gotta send these to get graded because I got them in slabs. I'm good with that. You know, so I've been really thinking about it. Like, there's this Elston Howard I want to get. It's a 59 tops with a baby blue background, and it's beautiful. I love that card. So I'm gonna end up getting it, but I'm buying it ungraded because I could get it cheaper than buying it graded, and in better condition. I could get like a near mint probably for like 15 bucks ungraded, and if I buy like a 4, I'm looking at like, I don't know, $40-50. I'm like, I'd rather just get the near mint copy for 15, put it in my own slab. Here's a Aaron Judge rookie card. These are looking so sharp. He's having a banger of a year too, man. They're talking about he's on pace for 62 again. You never know. You never know. And here's another Aaron Judge. There's a Titan. This one is numbered to 299. But this is nice too. Yeah, I decided to do this video outside. I know it's a little bit of a pain with the glare, but I decided to do it outside because it's nice. It was getting chilly the other day, and I just wanted to take advantage of the nice weather before I'm back inside again, you know what I mean? Here's the Ohtani rookie card, him pitching. And I got this Aces, the all Aces. This one is, ooh, Lord, fire. Love this. And it looks so good with the label because matching, color match. So I'm happy with that. I'm really digging these, you know what I mean? I know not everybody's into them, but I really like them. I drank the Kool-Aid. I ended up getting them, but you know what? I don't regret it. They look so much better than the One Touch. Here's the Wade Boggs rookie that I picked up in Cleveland. So I slabbed it up. Looks amazing, phenomenal. It's nicely centered. This probably would have gotten a 9 if I would have sent it in. But since I didn't send it in, it's a 10. You know what I mean? It's a 10 since I didn't send it in. Got a Wade Boggs 10. I just picked this one up yesterday. I went to my local LCS. I picked this up, and I picked up 9 other cards. They were like a bundle, part of a set or something. This one is not part of the set. This one is a second year Eddie Murray, 1979 tops. Love this card. I really love this card. And it's really nicely centered. I think I overpaid for it though, I ain't gonna lie. I don't even want to tell you what I paid for it. But I think I overpaid a little for the card, but it kind of makes up because the set that I bought, I think I got it for a decent price. And I think I bought the set for like 10 bucks. So, you know, it kind of balances it out. And then I'm gonna show you these last two cards. You know, I have some other cards that I gotta slab up, but here's a 1960 Elston Howard. Love this card. It looks so good. Something about the baby blue, man. Like it's like that with my 58 Topps Vic Power. His background is he's in the batting stance, and his background is all baby blue. It just looks beautiful. It pops. So that's why I want to get the Elston Howard 58. I mean, not the 58, the 59. Because the 59 Topps Elston Howard has that baby blue. But it just looks good, man. These slabs, man, what a difference they make when you put them in here. The cards look so good. And here's my boy, the baby bull, second year Cepeda card. So finally got him in a slab. Bought this raw at in PA at an antique shop. I think I paid like 18 bucks for it. I don't know if that's too much, but what a great card, man. Look at that. I love the 59. Beautiful card. So those are the Mag Pros that I slabbed up. Now these cards, it's a set. It's called Prime, Topps Prime. This was from 2011, and there's 9 cards. I forgot, the dealer was telling me how he like, I don't know if they were like sets when you bought like boxes or something, hobby box. I don't know, but he was selling the set of 9 for $10. So I just bought the whole set. So here's Johnny Bench, Albert Pujols, the Machine, La Máquina, Jackie Robinson. These are nice because they like refractor type, like they're shiny, and they look good. Here's Derek Jeter, Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt was the man. Henry Aaron, Hammer and Hank. Love that uniform. The Mickey Mantle. Ichiro. And left arm of God, there you go. Sandy Koufax. So I was watching the Mount Rushmore video that Chris from Missouri had put out, and you know, I hope you guys don't mind that I'm making this video a little bit longer than usual. There is a VR that I want to do for John 3D's 80s kid, but I'm gonna do that on the next video because it's gonna take too long. But I do want to talk about the Mount Rushmore. I've been seeing a lot of the Mount Rushmore that people have been putting, and they've been great. And you know what it boils down to be honest, is preference. The way I look at it, because one of the things that is hard to debate is the greatest of all time, right? Because certain players played in different eras. Competition was different. The athleticism that we see now is probably not the same from back in the day. The way guys take care of their bodies is not the same from back in the day. You know, and when we think of certain players, you know, there's a lot of things that you gotta put into consideration. But you know, between injuries, between certain things that might have happened, like strikes in the career, like there'll be a baseball strike and the guy doesn't get to play a full season, injury that derails a guy for a season and he's out, you know, and it's kind of hard to determine who's the greatest. You know, when you look at the stats of a lot of these guys, like for example, I don't think Eddie Murray's, you know, a Mount Rushmore caliber player, but when you look at his career stats, you know, he's one of 5 players that has 500 home runs and 3,000 hits, which is like a crazy accomplishment, right? But, you know, and some people are probably not going to agree with my Mount Rushmore, and it's all good. You know what I mean? It's my opinion. But, you know, for like position players, me personally, for me, and I'm not saying I'm right, this is just my personal preference. You know, Ken Griffey to me is number 1. The reason I say that is because the fact that half of his career, he was plagued by injuries, and he was still able to accomplish over 600 home runs and damn near almost 3,000 hits. You know what I mean? I think he hit over 2,700 hits. And he was hurt for a lot of the time in the second half. Not to mention, if he would have stood in the American League, he could have DH'd and be a DH for his career, right? For the rest of his career, he wouldn't have to play the field and get hurt again. So, to me, Ken Griffey's like the best all-around player that I ever witnessed. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get to see a lot of the greats from back in the day play. But to me, Ken Griffey was just like a total package player. He could hit for average, hit for power, he could run, he had great defense. Like, he was a complete player. And I love that about him. You know, and when I judge my players, I think defense is just as important as offense. And a lot of times I see a lot of guys not get credit for their defense, and they get overlooked because they were defensive players, and maybe they didn't have a lot of power. And then you have a lot of guys that hit for average but didn't have a lot of power, and they get overlooked. You know what I mean? Like, to me, Clemente is one of the greatest players, right? But he didn't hit 30, 40 home runs a year. But, you know, he was still considered to be one of the best hitters of all time. You know, so Ken Griffey to me is 1. Mike Schmidt is another. And these are guys that are still alive too. So this is another thing we have to keep in mind, that we're going by the guys that are still living. So Mike Schmidt, you know, over 500 home runs. I think he had also 10 Gold Gloves. So, you know, his average wasn't as high. So you can make the argument, you know what I mean, for somebody else, like, you know, a George Brett who hit for average, but he didn't have as many Gold Gloves as Schmidt did. And maybe even make a argument for Chipper Jones, who's a great third baseman. But I think Mike Schmidt overall was the better one out of those. So I would put Schmidt. I would put Ken Griffey, Albert Pujols. It's a shame that his second half of his career wasn't as powerful as his first. But the fact that the guy hit over 700 home runs is impressive. You know, when you think about, there's only a handful of guys that have done it in the history of the game. The fact that this guy wasn't at 100% the second half of his career, and he still managed to hit 700 home runs, you know, to me, that's powerful. So definitely Pujols. He was a monster. Average, for power, for everything. The guy was just a beast. probably one of the greatest right-hand hitters of all time. And my fourth, man, people are gonna hate me for this one, and I'm not being biased by any means, by any stretch, but you know, I know a lot of people put Johnny Bench up there, and I get it. The catcher is the hardest position to play. I get that. But when I look at Bench, to me, he wasn't the greatest defensive catcher of all time. And to me, he wasn't the greatest hitting catcher of all time. So because of that, I'm not going to put him as one of my greatest, you know, Mount Rushmore players. Now, people could disagree with me because, oh, that he got hurt and this and that. And I get that. I get it. But, you know, when you look at the numbers of, let's say, Mike Piazza, hitting-wise, Piazza was the better hitter. He hit better for average, and he hit for power. So, you know, but Piazza defensively was horrible, so I could never put him up there as a top catcher. And then you had Pudge Rodriguez, who I thought was a better catcher than Bench. And people probably going to hate me for that. But I also am going by what I saw in my lifetime. But I'm not putting Pudge in my Mount Rushmore. I'm actually going to put somebody else. And I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this one. But it's all good. I don't even care. Because I think the guy, you know, for as much hate as he gets, his accomplishments are pretty incredible. And that's Derek Jeter. I put Derek Jeter up there. And the reason I put him up there is because as much as people want to hate on him, he's 6th all-time in hits. The guy wasn't the greatest defensive shortstop, but he made the plays when they counted in postseason. He was a great postseason player. And to me, that's important. You know, just like when you talk about pitching. Yeah, Clayton Kershaw is a great pitcher during the regular season, but when it came to the playoffs, he sucked. So how can you put him over a lot of the other greats? You can't. So to me, Derek Jeter was a proven leader in the clubhouse. He could hit for average. He had a little bit of pop in his bat. He could still hit home runs every once in a while. And he has a ton of runs, ton of RBIs for a shortstop that wasn't even a power hitting shortstop. You know, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, A-Rod, this and that. But A-Rod didn't play his whole career at short. He moved over to third. You know, and I don't even think A-Rod has that many gold gloves either. The only other guy that I would say you could possibly maybe give a nod over Jeter would be Ripken, but Ripken didn't hit for high average. You know what I mean? He batted like 280 career or something like that. But Jeter was a career 300 hitter every year, in and out, hitting 200 hits a year. Like, the guy was great. And I know a lot of people hate him because they're like, oh, well, he played for the Yankees, that's why. Regardless, it doesn't matter who he played for. The guy was a leader. The guy was, he hustled. He played hard. And, you know, he was a great hitter. You know, the fact that he's the 6th on the list for the career hits, to me, it speaks volumes. Speaks volumes. And I don't think he gets enough credit for it. So I'm going to leave it with that. And then my pitching Mount Rushmore. Man. I know a lot of people say Maddox. you know, and I agree. I wanted to do something different because it seems like everybody's picking the same pictures. I'll leave Nolan Ryan off of there. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like thinking I'm crazy, but Nolan Ryan walked a lot of batters. I know he struck out a ton of batters, and he's the all-time leader in strikeouts, and he's got the most no-hitters, one-hitters, and all that. But he has no Cy Young awards, and I know he played for some pretty bad teams in his career, so you can't blame him for that. But I want to go a little bit of a different route, and don't mind the planes. I live near an airport. But to me, I would go Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, Pedro Martinez, and man, I can't say Roger Clemens because of the whole PEDs, but it would be Clemens to me. But because we're not doing the steroid players, I'll leave Clemens off. But to me, Clemens was the best. You know what? I'm going to throw Steve Carlton in there. He's still alive, right? I think he's still alive. I'm going to throw Steve Carlton in there. I don't think he gets any hobby love. He gets no love. And, you know, I'm only putting him because he don't get no love in the hobby. But my fourth guy would be Sandy Koufax. Only because what he did in such a short period of time. The fact that he retired at 30 and he has over 160 wins, 4 no-hitters, and he was just a beast. You know, I could just only imagine if he would have played till he was like 35 or 38. Like a lot of these guys are now pitching into their 40s, you know. I can only imagine what Sandy Koufax numbers would have looked like if he would have kept pitching. But yeah, I'm gonna leave Sandy out only because I want Carlton to get some love. So I'm gonna put Carlton in there. You got Steve Carlton. Who I said? Greg Maddux, Pedro Martinez, and Randy Johnson. Those are my 4. You know what I mean? Honorable mentions: Nolan Ryan, Sandy Koufax, and Tom Seaver. Because I think Tom Seaver was great too. But that's my Mount Rushmore. So, you know, but like I said, man, my man Griffey was the man. He was like the most complete player to me. You know what I mean? In his heyday. So, thanks for hanging around for this long period of time. I appreciate you. And let me take you out with a little bit of Eddie Murray action, since I just bought this card yesterday. All right. So take care. God bless. Be safe. And comment down below if you think I'm crazy for who I picked as my Mount Rushmore. And also, I would like to know what you guys think about the labels and the new slabs. If it's something that you guys would consider getting, do you think it's worth getting or not? You know what I mean? I'm still getting graded cards, by the way. I'm still gonna. Matter of fact, I ordered one last night. On the hush. I ordered one last night of a Hall of Famer. So, but I'll see you on the next video. Take care. God bless. Be safe. Peace.